Uh-huh.
Okay, we are live. Hello, welcome everybody.
Hello.
How are you doing, interpreter? Oh wait, before that, hello everybody. I have Miss Mayor, the Mayor of Wasteland. This is my mayoral cabinet, and we have a guest here, Gemini, tonight, who you know is the Wastelander of the month. So, interpreter, how are you doing?
I just woke up from a nap.
What about you,
I'm
Mr.
great.
Fahrenheit?
I'm quite well. I'm lounging. I'm taking in the sights of the quarantine. I'm reminding the interpreter not to oversleep the interview, as one does. Drink in hand, boldly adventuring in my downstairs apartment.
What about you,
Fine.
Gemini?
Shame it's happening. I'll get my drink.
How is the quarantine treating you?
It's good. I work from home, so I'm isolated all the time anyway. So I'm like, this feels kind of like a walk in the park, but I'm good. I've got my Kit Kat with me, got my cup of tea, and I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Now, when you say Kit Kat, is that actual candy, or is that what you call your cat?
Oh my
Or is
gosh.
that Kit from the Ferals?
No, it's Ginkgo, my cat, but she also is Buttons, Muffin, Honkin' Stonker.
I figured it was
Lily.
I figured it was like a good possibility it was your cat, but also Kit Kats are in the round of 16 and Moth Eater's best of
Battle
4
of the Snacks. That's right.
I'm so excited.
While we're there real quick, does anybody have any hot favorites?
Well, first we should probably establish what that is. To address the elephant in the room, I know that everybody watching this is probably watching this from quarantine because the world is going through a pandemic right now. Not a fictional pandemic like the one that we attend every September at Wasteland Weekend, but a real one. So everybody is stuck inside, and Wastelanders have become very inventive in how to spend their time during their quarantine. One of which ways is our good friend Moth Eater I believe he does this every year though, right? He does Battle of the Snacks where people vote for what the best snack is.
Yes.
He does it every year, right?
He does a best of. I don't know if it's always snacks, but it might always be snacks.
So I don't think it's always snacks. I think he changes it up, but he always does a March Madness every year. And personally, I'm voting for Cheez-Its, extra toasty.
Oh, Cheez-Its are gonna get wrecked.
I know.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know what's all in the final of the Battle of the Snacks?
You know, I do, as it happens.
Let's pull it up.
Did you put them all in a blender and then eat them all together?
No, I would rather have. I'd rather have Matt Morrison's Mac and Tang before I have that. Oh wait, did you not see this?
Oh god, that's disgusting.
Oh no,
that is probably the only mac and cheese I will willingly eat.
Ew, no.
It's gonna be brutal. All right, so
I want to protect you from that.
Oh no, yeah, it's noodles, and then instead of like cheese, it's like this big thing of Tang, and it's exactly as gross as it sounds.
I'm frightened.
Maybe, but maybe it's good. I don't know.
No, it's not.
There's
no way.
Well, he might be making it for Camp Cozy Box next year or this coming Wasteland.
More like Camp Queasy Box. Okay, so the Battle of Snacks.
Battle of the Snacks. Tang and Mac and Tang not included. In the final 8, you have Doritos versus Reese's Pieces.
Oh, Doritos all the way.
But it's like the little ones. It's Kettle Chips versus Kit Kats.
Kit Kat is superior.
Oreos versus Cheetos.
That's a weird mix-up, though. Like
I know, it's like sweet and savory.
I want to put them together.
Ew. And the last one is what? Reese's and Jack Link's beef jerky?
Yes.
Here's the thing. I feel like they should be matched up more towards they should narrow it down. Like chocolate versus chocolate, chips versus chips. Because Reese's are way better than Reese's Pieces, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, couldn't we just knock one of those options out?
What if it just comes down to Reese's Pieces versus Reese's?
Then regular Reese's are absolutely going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces are trash.
I want Kit Kat to win, but I know it won't.
It won't. I'm definitely going Doritos, I'm going Doritos, kettle chips, Oreos, and jerky.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It's so different. Like if somebody asked me, like if I was, I don't know, it depends on what mood I'm in. If someone's like, "Hey, do you want beef jerky or do you want Kit Kats?" Like I'd be like, "What? Those two are totally different. Why are you offering me that?"
Yes.
Like that's
I
a
will
weird.
take yes.
That's a weird like you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
do you want kettle chips or some chocolate? Like, I don't know. What are we doing?
not
Are we
both?
watching a movie or like?
I'm just
Would you
saying.
like some water or some
like-
vodka?
I'm just saying, if somebody's got jerky and it's like, "Yo, you want jerky?" I am down for that jerky.
It depends on the jerky. Do you like spicy jerky? Or do
I like
you
spicy jerky. I like teriyaki jerky. I like meat in general.
Mm-hmm. I make a pretty good chili mesquite lime.
Oh,
Jerky.
nice.
Jerky hurts my mouth.
You're not alone.
Do you have sensitive teeth, Miz?
It makes my mouth, I don't know, it makes my mouth sore. Like it makes my tongue and gums sore.
What the hell jerky are you eating?
That sounds like an allergy to whatever's in it.
Oh.
I feel like it is. I think like something they're using to preserve the meat hurts me because it also makes my lips really red, but my lips get red really easily anyway. Like if I eat
This
anything,
one might just be you.
somebody out there, if they also suffer through this, let me know because
They're like, yes, I'm not alone.
it's a rough one, is all I'm saying.
The mayor sees me.
Speaking of rough ones, if you guys haven't heard already, Neotropolis, the event put on by Wasteland World Inc., the cyberpunk event, due to the crazy happenings in the world around us, is pushed back to June for now, I believe, pending announcement, unfortunately. Yes. Personally, I'm kind of glad because it gives me more time to work on my my jacket that was not ready at all.
That's fair. I have not started anything Neotropolis wise, so I'm really just enjoying having extra time to continue to fall behind.
Absolutely. I'm excited because a majority of my outfit for Neotropolis is like exercise wear. So I'm pretty much wearing I'm wearing like a more interesting version of like sweats essentially.
Rad.
Nero Fatal says, "You are allergic. You are allergic to meat? What a combo to walk in on." No, not meat in general. Just the jerky hurts my mouth.
And if I was
the meat in her mouth hurts it.
It does.
If I was allergic to meat, I don't know what I would do. That would not be good. That is why
I'm not allergic to meat.
That's why that Lone Star tick is my mortal enemy.
The what?
The what?
Oh, there's a tick. If it like bites you, you will become allergic to meat.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Ticks they're all nightmares.
Yeah, they can.
So all you're saying is do not let Fahrenheit bite you.
I am what?
I don't think he carries that power.
You said it's a nightmare.
Oh.
Don't let the tick bite you.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
That was an all new level of pun. You're becoming more powerful.
That was the mastery right there.
Don't encourage her. She loves her puns to begin with.
That was like an Inception pun.
Don't waste all of your material before the next talent show.
Oh my gosh, I watched Mr. Universe or Mr. Global yesterday. I was very disappointed because it's a competition,
it's
like
a pageant
beauty contest
for men, right?
Yes. But they did not have to do a talent option, and I was very disappointed.
Ooh, that's sexist.
Don't they just stand there?
And they did not have to wear heels in their swimsuits. They just came out barefoot. I was like, "What is this?"
Don't they just like stand there bronzed in speedos?
That was the swimsuit contest.
I thought that was just their normal. I thought that was their normal attire.
They wear it the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't realize they wore clothes.
I wish they wore it the whole time.
I didn't realize they were wearing clothes at any point in those.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was even on. I'm intrigued. I have to go watch it.
Everything is televised now. The revolution will be televised, Miz.
Speaking of, if you're stuck at home, many a Wastelander, as I said, are kind of venturing to the digital frontier to keep the post-apocalyptic spirit alive. Besides Battle of the Snacks, there is a website called youareawaited.com. Normally, this website, well, I made a video about it, but you guys aren't going to watch that right now. You're busy. You're busy with this. So normally you go on there, and it's sort of a matchmaking site, not a romantic one, but it can be if you want to. Where if you're going to a PA event, you enter that event you're going to, and you put what you're interested in, whether you're looking for friends, whether you're looking for, something more, and they will match you with a random Wastelander, and then you have to find them at the event. And when you do, I believe you get a little prize, and that prize is friendship. And also a bottle cap or something.
You've been on the hunt for
I was like, wait, I didn't get a prize.
You've been on the hunt for a your awaited friend a couple of years, haven't you, Miz?
No, I got catfished on the last one.
Oh my god. I didn't even think
I think I got catfished too.
You did?
I'm pretty sure I did. The photo of that person, I was like, there's no way. And I couldn't find him at the event. And so I cheated and I went and I looked on Facebook and like their Facebook is literally that one photo.
Ooh, that's sketchy.
And it's like a MySpace photo where it's like all emo and their hair's over their face and I look into it like you can't see anything. I was like, you person, you.
See, I was lucky because the person I was looking for, I did a video and I briefly showed their photo. I'm like, oh, this is someone I'm looking for. You are awaited. And then I was looking for him this year, and his friend had seen the video and had talked to him, and his friend actually found me, and he's like, yeah, he actually never joined that site. He wanted me to let you know that he's not at this event this year, and he actually never joined, so we're not sure who did that.
Oh wow.
So I was on so that was pretty weird. Hopefully that got resolved. I know that he's like aware of it, so maybe. But I don't mean to scare you guys off if you are awaited because it's digital. So now you're just going to be meeting them online, and it's a good way to meet some people before the event. Maybe make some new pals that way.
Mm-hmm. I got catfished on You're Awaited. That is a wild tale.
Spec says, "How do you get catfished for friends?" Well. Catfish doesn't imply anything romantic. It just implies that the person's misrepresenting themselves digitally.
Oh.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the interpreter's like, oh no.
I wasn't looking for love. I just wanted to meet someone with a cool dye job.
Right?
And turned out he wasn't real. Story of my life.
You have my condolences.
But he had a very good friend to come and like find me.
That was good.
Beforehand, so I didn't spend the whole time like looking for him. He also probably just didn't want me coming back to the camp a million times. But that's beside the point. The first year I did You Are Awaited, it worked out because I met gay stuff actually. Through that.
Well, there you go.
So that was worth it because if you met gay stuff through there, if that's all that happens to you when you go through You Are Awaited, it's worth it.
She holds a special place in my heart.
Is there anything else you guys can think of that some Wastelanders are doing online during this time of crises?
There's the Wasteland live show by Commodore and Hatter.
That's right, Commodore Pistol Whip.
I know that the Wasted Saints are offering if you donate to, and I don't have the site on hand, but they posted it in Central, they posted it on their Instagram and stuff, but if you donate to this fund to help with supplies and stuff, you get a trinket at Wasteland. So
I'll find that
cool.
link and I'll find that link and post it in the description because I know where it is.
And Captain Crunch is making a ton of masks himself, and I don't know this Wastelander's name, but I know his partner's Instagram handle. It's Brianator. He is making a ton of masks on his own and donating them, and she in her post was like, he's too shy to talk about this, but I will brag for him.
Aww.
And posted a ton of them, and so that was rad. So there's a lot of Wastelanders doing things right now and trying and giving back as they can.
And if you have the ability to do that, definitely look into it because that is a major thing right now that people need is those masks.
Yeah.
Spec says, what's that pass a shot thing going on? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. I don't know if you guys got tagged on that, but
no, I got tagged in that twice, and then I got tagged in tag the push up.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I can do it all day.
Yeah, that's right. I did 40. Deal with it.
All day. I tagged him.
She messed up her video and had to do another 10, so she ended up doing 20. But then I was gonna do.
I did more than 20, bro. But okay, because I admitted to.
I was like, I'm gonna prove a point, but then I accidentally discarded my video, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna do another 20. Okay.
Gotta have the proof.
And then he ended it with, "I could do these all day." I was like, oh, why are we friends?
That was my special treat for you.
Yeah, a lot of Wastelanders are doing this take a shot thing. If you partake of alcohol. Yeah, I don't know.
Or not alcohol. It doesn't say anywhere that it has to be alcohol.
Oh, what do you just take like a shot of Coca-Cola
whatever you want?
Or something, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's true.
You keep the teetotalers involved.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
To do an emergency shot at work, we used to do those. Just have the littlest amount of water in a glass with a second of emergency. Just get that thing over with. Keep yourself safe.
That's a good suggestion, actually. A very good suggestion. Erin just popped out. I'm assuming she's going to come back in. It must have been a glitch.
Just DC'd.
Yeah. She just took off she went to go get some emergency after hearing that. But yeah, we have Gemini here. Is there anything else you think of Fahrenheit before we move on to interviewing our Wastelander of the month?
Nothing off the top of my head.
I can think of one last thing. If you guys are interested after this stream, actually, if you're a member of Twitch, DJ Joe Virus, who is a very talented Wasteland DJ, he is going to be doing I almost said a digital rave. He's
I would absolutely do that.
It's a digital rave on a Twitch. So it's twitch.com/DJ Virus, and that is also in the description. But
you're talking about digital raves, and now I'm all excited for it, and it's not going to happen, and you're really just...
Hey, he's going to be DJing.
You are event catfishing me, Ms.
Fahrenheit has now set up a mirror in his house and is giving himself a light show.
Don't be ridiculous. All of my closets in both of my bedrooms are full mirrors. I'm already ready.
Ooh, that would be spooky.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got so many mirrors. And I'm going to put I have not yet gone full Neotropolis LED and neon bars, but in time.
Spec says digital AMF next. We can only hope. That would be nice, actually. All right, so let's gather and let's talk about Gemini. So Gemini, spotlight on you. How long have you been attending Wasteland Weekend?
I started going in 2017, but I had wanted, I don't even know when or what year the photos were from, but I saw photos of Legio X, and they had to have been from 2011, 2012. And basically as soon as I saw them, I wanted to go. And I had to quit my job to go. Granted, there were a bunch of other reasons I wanted to quit, but that was the cherry on top because they would never let me go that time of year. And so finally 2017 made a couple life changes, moved some things around, and I finally was able to go.
I remember you were big in the Fallout community around the time. So I remember that you were I remember you posting stuff about it because I think you were already on my friends list.
We may have met through Fallout Fanatics or
Fallout I think
that's
what it was.
I used to run that group back in the day, and I think it was when it was 10,000 people, and it's probably huge now. But because I was.
Did you justify that 10,000 people is not huge?
Well, no, it was huge, but I think it's probably crazy now because
it's really big, yeah.
Yeah, I left right before Fallout 4 came out because I was like, you know what,
timing.
I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to deal with spoilers or nonsense. And I'd been there for a couple years at that point, so. But yeah, I used to do a lot of Fallout cosplay, and of course I loved Legio stuff, and then I saw them, and I'm like, hard eyes all over the place. And I was like, I have to meet them in person. So it took a while, but yeah, they were my first tribe when I finally got to Wasteland. It was like a big fangirl moment, actually.
It's funny. There's quite a few people who like going to Wasteland. They were also going through like a big transition in their life, leaving jobs and stuff because it is a long period of time to take off from work, which I know is difficult for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It used to only be, I think it used to only be what, 3 days, and now it's like a week. Which is, that's a lot of time to take off that most jobs just won't allow.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your tribe? Because you have a very interesting one.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, my first tribe was Legio X, and they welcomed me with open arms because I had a few friends that were already in the tribe, and it was very easy to just kind of lean into the event with them. And it was super fun. And I do graphic design as my job, and like making art and printmaking and costumes. And so that first year we did a barter cart. My tribe mate Metra, who you may know as Nikki Wolf, she found an old laundromat cart on the side of the freeway that was rusted and absolutely perfect, and we filled it with goodies and walked around. And so having it be such like it was pretty loose. It was kind of like show up, put your stuff down. If you've got a Legio kit, that's great, get into it. So I got to kind of mesh all of those things together within that tribe, which was really fun. And then the next year, of course, I still love all of them to this day, and we hang out every Friday at Wasteland, but I wanted something more. And I went thinking like, okay, you're finally going, and I partied and it was a really good time. But I felt like there was the potential for I guess more expression, or like I definitely felt like I found a piece of myself out there. And so I had seen some things from Smoda, the Seers of the Waste, and I absolutely fell in love with their aesthetic. And I met some of the members and kind of flirted around with the idea of like, should I ask them if they're taking new members and everything. And so 2018, I ended up prospecting with them. And prospecting with Smoda is really intense, and it's amazing. And it was
a very ambitious aesthetic tribe.
Oh yeah. So I should probably say, if you don't know my tribe, Smoda, Seers of the Waste, it's atomic backwards. That's why our A is capitalized.
Oh my god, I never knew that.
Miz, are you serious?
Yes, I never caught on to that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. I was doing a live stream the other night. I was cooking, and I had our sign for the DXD board, and it was backwards in the stream, and people were like, "Oh, it means
my god!" I thought it was like Latin or something. Oh my god!
No, it's pretty silly, but I love it. Yeah,
wild. So if you're here, so your first year was 2018, so 17. That would have been
17, and then
with Smoda.
Smoda was 2018. Legio X was 2017.
Okay, so that's when we had brought them in for the big Vault 77 quest, and you guys had each developed your own method of divination. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Granted, when that was going on, I was a prospect, so I just kind of like, I took a step back and just kind of observed. But I know my sisters killed it because I was kind of like watching, like, ooh, what are you guys doing? And of course, Nomad is like so theatrical and amazing. So
love
anytime
Nomad.
Someone came in, I love Nomad too. And when someone would come in, we did the whole kit and caboodle, and they got into character, and
you had that full on shrine over on the left.
Yeah, that was our readings tent, and so we would go in there and do our divination, and our readings tent has changed a little bit since then, but it was perfect for that quest that year. It was really amazing. So.
And on the same vein, I don't know if it's already in your questions. If so, we can jump forward, Ms. Let me know. But your specialty was the tarot of the waste, as I recall. Is that right?
I did some runes, but
did the runes, yeah.
But I've always read tarot. Yaga, my tribe sister Yaga, she's known for her tarot. She's an amazing reader, and she also developed her own tarot deck called Tarot of the Waste, which I'm going to plug it right now, is for sale on her website, tarotofthewaste.com. It's a beautiful deck with post-apocalyptic themes. And we also have, I'm not sure exactly what she would call it, but I think of it as like dream walking or dream weaving. Six, my sister, that's what she does. Echo throws bones. So we all have some kind of specialty, I guess you can say. But a lot of us read multiple. We have different systems that we all use. So this year I'll be using a new system. But yeah, divination and amulets and talismans. That's kind of what we're known for. And we also host workshops during the day. So if you're out in the city and you want to get out of the sun, come on in, and hopefully we're teaching something. And we have like making your own amulet, talisman with Nomad. Echo would do making your own lantern. So she'd bring
cool.
all of these cool plasma cut tins, and yeah, kind of you can goof around with that. And then Yaga does the Tarot of the Waste, where she explains her deck, and we'll open it up for readings after. And then for the last 2 years, I've done, for my offering is Wasteland Clue. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it around, but it's basically Clue, the board game, which is like my favorite game. And it's all Wasteland locations. All the suspects are Wastelanders. The weapons are post-apocalyptic. Thank you. So that's I thought about doing a workshop, but I really wanted to design a board game instead. So my sisters were cool with it, and so I would host like a gaming hour.
Yeah.
Very cool idea.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. So anyways, that's kind of what we do. So we're basically divination. We do some street theater as well. We do Tribe Alliance every year. Last year, we aligned with Warspawn, which was this absolutely epic showdown in front of the gates of the city. And we presented gifts, and it was amazing. And we're always thinking of something new to do every year.
And might I just say, this is a primary example of why when you go your first year at Wasteland, don't super commit yourself to a tribe right away. Like what happened with Gemini. She, was open, and that's how she ended up finding her tribe that she's with now. I think too many people go to the event thinking that they have to join a tribe automatically. Your first tribe, really, you should do what Gemini did, just kind of meet people, feel around, see what you want your aesthetic to be. Because your first year, you really don't know.
Yeah.
And as long as you're open like that and you don't have any super big commitments, I think that's how you find a tribe that really sticks.
Absolutely. And I know every tribe's process is different in terms of initiation. Not every tribe prospects. I rolled with Legio the first year just because I had some friend connections. And they were a lot more lenient, and they were totally cool that I wanted to venture out. And but like Samoda, we really want to work with the prospect for a year and go through it. It seriously is a whole journey. And I thought that I knew what prospecting was, and I reassured them that I understood what I was getting into, and I absolutely didn't. I'm not saying there's hazing, it's none of that, but
could you tell us a little bit of what they do for prospecting, if you're allowed? Only because I think a lot of tribes, I know a lot of people want to make tribes. It is a very good idea to kind of, even if they're good friends of yours, I think to kind of screen people, kind of give them a trial period. That's another thing. If you're making a tribe, maybe consider doing a trial period, a 1 year kind of thing, maybe even more for potentials like that. And I think a lot of tribes do that, but it's not talked about a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have some, special things within prospecting that we would keep within the tribe, or
absolutely
things that would be revealed to you once you're long enough on your journey. But really it's about, do you mesh with us? Do we mesh with you? And it really is a two-way street. It's not just like, well, what do we think of this person? And da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Because I had to really think about, I was coming from a cosplay background, And of course, there were things within their aesthetic and what they were offering that I really connected to. And like I said, when I left 2017, I just needed more. I needed more self-expression. I needed to tap into something. And I think the freedom that Samoda brought, or like would potentially bring me, is why I really wanted to do it. But I had to really think about it. Is this what I want? And we're a very small tribe, so it's quite a bit of work. There's 5 of us. And so, you know, and now I moved out of the Bay Area, so I'm the farthest member in terms of distance. You have to figure out all of that, you know, as you're prospecting. But definitely, like, I can say attending build days, and we can kind of see maybe your like work ethic. Do you jump in there, or are you like, hey, what's the next thing? Or do you kind of sit back? How is your flow? How do you walk in the world? And seeing if all of that vibes. And then, of course, talking about your personal aesthetic that would fit within the tribe. We all definitely try to have our own style, but we want to look cohesive. And then, of course, like some of the lore of our tribe, going through that. And then the last test really is camping with us and seeing how that fits, because you can get along really well during build days, and then things may absolutely fall apart when you go camping with each other. So
it's a big commitment to camp with someone for a week.
Yeah.
I have friends that I like am really close with outside of Wasteland who I would not want to camp with for a week.
Yeah.
It's a different dynamic for sure.
Exactly. And you do all this work all year long, and money and sweat and time. And then, you know, so you want to make sure everything's a good fit. And of course, if, you know, there's an agreement, then we move on to the initiation. And I was initiated in 2018, and it was absolutely incredible. It was probably one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest. Like, just so much love and understanding and acceptance. And I really I know I'm in a sisterhood, and it's like a sisterhood for life.
Rad.
It's more, to us, it's not, you know, it really is your tribe. It's not just the event. It's, you know, the support year round. And exactly, like if you're in trouble, you know, you call your tribe sister. So an initiation is some private, some public ceremony. And we did a lantern procession, and we're all veiled. We're in our ritual whites, and we walk around the city, and we do crazy stuff. And like, I think for my initiation, we were dancing around the burning world, and I don't know where it was then. I think we were in front of attack camp. Yeah,
that's right.
And we were like doing a like a culty dance circle around it. Like, it was so much fun.
Good.
Yeah,
man, I wish I would have filmed that. That would have been cool.
It would have been. Yeah, we Christine Shea did photograph it, which was really awesome.
I love her.
She's so amazing. She photographs us every year, and her photos mean so much to us. And
very good photographer.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She just recently got engaged. Sidetrack.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. She proposed to him. I was like, ooh.
Aww.
Get it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
keep going.
That kind of so
everybody get their oohs and ahs, and then we roll in.
So hopefully
dancing around the burning world.
Yeah. So hopefully that's some insight to like a little bit of the prospecting, but really it's like you can think you're prepared, but you just like, you have to be vulnerable and open and willing to try. And honestly, like, I left a bunch of stuff behind before we had the ceremony. Like, I went up to the, you know, where the memorial was. I meditated. Like, I took it really seriously. And I think because of that, it's just given me so much more. But I know, you know, this is just me and my tribe. We get a little serious with it because it's a really sacred space for us.
I think that's good though, because your tribe, like, because you take it so seriously, I feel like that's communicated. Your aesthetic is very polished. The camp is very polished. There's a very like Your camp, I would say, is one of the most like committed to the theme. Like it's a very committed aesthetic. It takes itself very seriously and it translates very well because of that. There's not a lot of I don't know. There's not a lot of cheesiness. There's not a lot of pretense to it, and I think it gives it the sense of mysticism that it needs for its theme.
Thank you. That's what we're going for. So I'm really happy to hear that. Focusing on the aesthetic in all aspects is super important to us, and so that's really why we prospect. It's not just the visual aesthetic, but it's like, what are you bringing?
Because you don't want to bring in someone who doesn't take it seriously and then takes away from the theme as a whole.
Exactly. I mean, of course, we like to have fun and goof around and like we can be silly. But I think it's because the things that we do there and the connections that we have, and because we're vulnerable. And I know for some of us, it almost feels like a spiritual pilgrimage while we're there. Like, yeah, we do take it a little bit more seriously. But I think it lends itself to what we're doing. And seriously, every time I leave, I feel like, okay, my soul meter is like, that sounds really pretentious, but like it's filled. I feel fulfilled and satisfied. And like I've been able to express what I wanted to express and make the connections I wanted to make as well. And they provide that.
That's healthy, I think. I think that's when people have that experience, I think that's kind of what separates and makes Wasteland special and makes it less of just a standard party festival, is that there's people that bring that kind of stuff to it and that you can get that experience if you're open to it.
Yeah, you just have to, it's a sense of vulnerability for sure, and just going with it. Because I mean, there were moments where I was scared and I was like, what the hell am I getting myself into? And but the world can seriously, it can open up to you if you're willing, I think.
And vulnerability, I feel like, kind of breeds honesty as well, and that's something you need as a tribe. You need to be able to communicate with each other honestly and not be afraid to come to each other with issues you might have or ideas that you want to present.
I agree.
I think your aesthetic is pretty distinct and pretty interesting. I wanted to ask a little bit about your artwork and your work as an artist, because I know you mentioned we touched a little bit upon that you're a graphic designer and that you have your Oracle deck. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your work as an artist and what influences you?
Okay. So I would say, like, first and foremost, I'm a graphic designer. I mean, I guess that's my 9 to 5. But design plays a part in all other aspects of art that I make. So I've been trying to gain the confidence to say I'm also an illustrator.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not the best.
I would say you're an illustrator.
Oh, thank you. There's never a moment where you're just like, aha, now I'm a designer or now I'm an illustrator, because you can have self-doubt, forever. And the Oracle deck was one of the big pushes I wanted to make this year. It's like, you know what? You've got it in you. You just have to try. And I've started to do this thing where I'm like, no, you'll make an Oracle deck. Like you'll get there. And if you already imagine the end of it, you're like, okay, I just got to figure out how to navigate to the end. So definitely been trying to do a lot more illustrating and some photography, because I want to shoot my work and have it look nice. But this year I've really, or I guess this last year, from Wasteland to now, I've really been trying to push my aesthetic and the materials that I work with and the methods that I have, and been trying to make more headdresses. And I've been making a lot of jewelry lately, and doing like set decor and some ritual pieces. So like this last year, I made a staff for our Ritual Alliance, and it's made out of a stove coil, like a bunch of other things. And so I've been really trying to focus on like mixed media and texturing, and of course working on weathering. But recently I started volunteering at a makerspace in my hometown. I'm an area manager for the textiles department. And it's really awesome because they let you get certified in other areas for free because you do all this volunteering. And so now I'm going to be introducing ceramics and metal jewelry making into my practice. So I'll have a lot more, hopefully a lot more pieces coming down the road, and working on my kit and elevating it with the new materials. So those
I don't know if you have any stuff you could, pull up while you're talking, but I would love for some people to see it.
I was actually about to ask the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me do that.
I think what's interesting about your work is that you tend to use materials that a lot of people shy away from when it comes to creating post-apocalyptic stuff. There's a lot of interesting texture. There's a lot of different types of texture, which I think is where your design sense really shows. You don't shy away from weathering. The weathering is, it's strange. The weathering is almost downplayed, but it's also heavy. It's an interesting contrast, I feel like, in all your pieces. You don't just use all one type of material. Like you can see there's bone, there's rope, there's all kinds of stuff going on that I think intimidates a lot of people to work with when they start doing this stuff.
I was intimidated in the beginning, and there's still materials that intimidate me. These are some tribe photos, by the way.
There's the camp.
Sister Yaga. But you know what? You just have to like jump in there and figure it out. So like this, and also you can ask for help. Like these beautiful teeth that I have. This is my ritual armor for our tribe alliances. Like I was really nervous about drumming through them because I've heard horrible things about drumming through bone and teeth, and I didn't want to break them because they were really special. And Doc from Schofield's Drifters, he helped me out. He was like, oh, it's very simple. And then after he taught me how to do that last summer, and I was like, oh my God, why am I in my head? I'm making everything so much more complicated than it really is. And so I've just been trying to play with more materials. And the other thing that's been really important to me is upcycling as much as I can. It's important. It lends itself really well to the genre that we're playing in. So like all of the screws I got from it was like a Habitat for Humanity restore. You can go into there and find all kinds of things. And I keep as many scraps as I can to build new pieces. And you can come up with some really interesting things that way. And as far as weathering things, I typically start with dye, because if for some reason I have to throw it in the wash or it gets really bad, then the dye is always going to stay, and at least I'll have a base to work from.
Yeah, tea staining leaches out very quickly, you guys. If tea staining is your go-to, consider experimenting with some dyes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's very cool.
Oh, which one?
That headdress is a very cool piece.
Oh, thank you. This one right here, the nail halo. Even though I know they're screws, but I just like the sound of that more. Yeah, those are the same. I've been using a lot of screws in my work in teeth, and just finding old things. This piece right here comes from the inside of a hoop skirt. It's just covered in a different material. But I start with dyeing my pieces, and then I'll build up with basically just a lot of dry brushing. Sometimes spray painting, but it's mainly dry brushing.
Your stuff also looks very practical in the sense that it doesn't look fragile. It looks very well made. It doesn't look like, I think a lot of people make intricate pieces, but they get to the event and they're afraid to wear them because they're afraid of it falling apart. I know I've done stuff like that, but I don't really have an eye for delicate things. So it's nice to see that your stuff looks very sturdy, despite how delicate some of the pieces look. Like you'll see the little coins, the little chains, but it's all put together in a way where it doesn't, it's going to stand up in the desert.
Yeah, E6000 is where it's at. Although I will say this headdress, the base of this is made out of EVA foam. And I know some people will wear EVA to the event. And I just I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to do. But I mean, certain things, if you keep them in the shade, like they'll last longer, and if you protect them while they're in your house, then they'll last longer. But yeah, the base is EVA, contact cement, E6000, and actually some Mod Podge. And like this, it's solid. I could yeet it across the room and it'll be fine. So, but yeah, thank you. I try to build up distressing, and then I'll revisit stuff every year. Like, oh man, I thought my Granddaughter of the Cloud costume, my jacket was fine, and I pulled it out and I'm like, this thing is bright red, and sometimes, yeah, if you have to throw it in the wash, you lose some stuff. So I try to revisit my kit every year and like rebuild up a little bit of texture. And then of
always
course,
weather oh, go ahead.
If it stays year after year, that's great. But yeah, it's just important to just double check your stuff. And in photos, it's never going to look what you think it is. My first Saint costume was, it looked like it was pure white. I looked like I had just seen chlor and I was so clean. And so for photos, you really have to amp it up. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, the nuclear snail rule of thumb is always weather heavier than you think you're going to need to, because in photos, your stuff always looks way less weathered than it actually is. And you will see right away, you kind of have to go a little darker than maybe you would even like for it to appear in photos if you want things to photograph well.
Yeah.
Can we get a look at your
Oracle
deck?
Yeah. So this isn't available for purchase yet, but it will be. This is the Crucible Oracle. This is a 30-card deck with post-apocalyptic themes. And so it took some inspiration from things that we have in camp. Like this hand actually sits on our altar in camp. This was the absolutely stunning piece we received from Warspawn for our alliance. And so that represents willpower, grit, fearlessness. This is like a skull piece that I made. So I pulled some inspiration from the things that we already had, and then some inspiration from people. Like, I want to give a shout out. This card was inspired by Evan Ole and his Merchant. So there's like inspiration all around the place, but I wanted to create a deck that I could use at Wasteland, and also not at Wasteland, but have Wasteland related questions that I check in with it. And so, yeah, I'm just looking at printers to start printing the deck. And someone did ask me if I'm going to do prints of these, and I'm maybe considering doing prints or postcards, possibly.
And you can find this on ColeyEdwards.com, correct?
Yes. Yes, my portfolio.
That is linked in the description if you guys want to get a closer look after this.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go in here and take a gander. There's not a lot of information yet, but yeah, so this was my push on like trying to illustrate again and get back to some drawing. And all of the themes that are important to me at Wasteland, or things that I've learned each year, are in this deck. And like with some of the symbology, but just also from experience there. So like this is my thurible that I used for the Saints of the Apocalypse. It's made of metal. And so having that brought me those feelings, warmth, hope, light. And that's where I'm pulling some of this from.
So has going to Wasteland affected you majorly as an artist, you would say?
It's affected me in a lot of ways. Art specifically, yes, because my kit, my first year, y'all would have been so embarrassed for me. It was not good. And I was there and I was so inspired by everything that I was seeing, and realized like, okay, I could seriously up my game. And so I started looking at
you should never be embarrassed by your first year.
I wore a red satin shirt out and about to hog camp one night, and I did not realize what I was doing. I was thinking, oh, this is cute, this is fine. This is like bright red satin thing. But I get embarrassed just because that's how I roll. But I will say, as long as you keep working on your kit, like, then yeah, you really, like, don't be embarrassed. Like, you're doing the best you can do. Everybody improves every year. Everyone levels up every year. And that's really what happened. Like, after my first Wasteland, I'm like, I want to take lessons I've learned from this experience and apply them in a lot of aspects of my life. And then of course that was when I was joining with Simoda, and their aesthetic was really inspiring to me. And so yeah, and I kind of like, I consumed some media, watched, all the Mad Max movies, was getting back into post-apocalyptic games and finding inspiration from all of those places. And so yeah, it's really pushed me to express myself in a different way, because leading up to all of this cosplay, you're just you're as a specific character. And of course, if you don't actually look like that character, some people give you crap, and that was never fun. And so I loved the freedom that came with Wasteland kits. In general, I've always loved post-apoc stuff, and then having an outlet to wear them, and then it's like drag when you
it
put
really
something
is
on. Yeah, you can completely transform. And so that feeling that I had, I was like, you know what, I need to bring this into my everyday life. And the saying is, what, Wasteland a little bit every day. And so yeah, I kind of started shifting my art to those themes because I enjoyed them a little bit more, and to not be afraid of working with new things, and to really like work on my aesthetic. How, if this was real, how would you want to walk in the world? How do you want to present yourself? And what makes you feel most powerful? And if you kind of dive into that, and then there's a little bit of an equation of the materials you have available to you, what you can do with them, and then how you'll feel in them. And then I think if you just keep playing around with that every year and be open to changes and learn from other people, you can make all kinds of things. And so I'm excited. I'm branching out in new ways for this next year. I'm doing a Can Girl for the Rabid Radstag Saloon. And yeah, we're doing there's a group of us. And I was like, okay, let's do something that's not in my kit. I'm always in ivory and rusty colors. And so it's like, okay, what's the next thing that we can do? What's something that's different? You can switch it up. So I would just say, honestly, like being inspired by everybody around me and realizing you really can do what you want to do. And there's no reason to be embarrassed or like ashamed. You can show what you want to show, not show what you want to show. Like, it's supportive. It's a really amazing environment to kind of come into your own. And I feel like that's what's been happening the last few years, artistically, and just even in my personal life too. And Wasteland's taught me that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I always liked your look, because I think there's a misconception that there's a lot of chicks who want to go to Wasteland who they think all they can dress up as like a biker warrior, and that's the only archetype that they can, embody. And you can be anything. Like, anything can really be turned into Wasteland. Like, Gemini is more of like an occult type figure. You don't have to be like, just a standard kind of biker type thing. You can branch out, and there's not just the one archetype you have to fit into aesthetic wise. And I think that's an interesting thing. And I do agree that it's kind of funny when you see people's first year at Wasteland, costumes aside. I noticed that a lot of people, like you said, it manifests in their real life. I have friends who, after they started going to Wasteland, they kind of went through like a physical transformation of like dyeing their hair or undergoing like a style change.
Yep.
It happens a lot. It kind of transforms you.
Because you're like, why isn't it like this every day? This freedom that you get to enjoy. And
yeah, exactly.
Be your inner Wastelander.
Exactly. And one of the things I loved about Simoda, which is what they told me in the beginning, was before they went, they're like, where are the women like us? Where are the older women?
Yes.
Where are the bigger women? And I guess wanting to show that in a good light, at least in our opinion. Because before I went, of course I wanted to go, but yeah, I was nervous. I'm like, I don't see a lot of people like me. And then I went and I'm like, okay, this is lovely. I love this. This is great. But then I was like, okay, but I want to see more soft kits. I'm not heavily armor. Even my ritual armor is not, let's be honest, is not armor. But we like focusing on softer kits and yeah, maybe with some crazy headdresses or whatever, but you really can make it work. One of my best friends is a chemist in his real life, and he's a chemist out in the waste, and he makes me these amazing little cure shots that help with hangovers, and his name's Death Dodger, so shout out to Death Dodger. But you really can make it work. I think it's just you have to be open to maybe changing some things up. Yeah, okay, that's what it would be like, if it was the real world or in your real apocalypse or whatever. But you have to make it a little bit more theatrical. You can kind of fudge some things. But I think as long as you're willing to experiment, you can make anything work, really.
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys. If you have interest in going to the event, you don't have to be like a young Caucasian person
Yes.
to go. There's all kinds of people you're going to meet there, all different kind of walks of life. And Wasteland is for everybody, not just for people of a certain age, not for people of a certain gender or a certain race. And Gen V says in the chat, I absolutely need that deck. I just looked at the website and I don't see an option to pre-order. Will you give a pre-order option soon or send out an email when it does become available?
Yes, I'm going to let everybody know. I'm working on a shop. Right now, I'm deciding if it's Etsy or otherwise, but I'll have the deck on there. I have another headdress available right now, and I have a couple of the Lunar series necklaces that are also on the website. So I'm building it. It's in the process, but I will let you know as soon as they're available.
So keep checking the website, guys. Besides Wasteland, are there any other PA events that you attend or that you would like to attend in the future?
As far as events that I attend, so I'm NorCal Wastelander, but we consider a lot of California NorCal, I guess. I think we have Wastelanders that are south of the Bay Area that also...
You guys are very active in that group, I noticed.
Super. We're family and absolutely love everybody that I've met through NorCal Wastelanders. Our big event just happened. It's called New Fuel, and it's run by Cheryl Keach, Needle from the Burninator's, and now Prospect of Samoda. So excited. She does an amazing event in Sacramento, and we have Wastelander DJs that go out there. Everybody gets in. It's like Friday formal kind of thing, but she also does a dinner. We do a post-apocalyptic ornament exchange. She runs amazing events, and she's working on a new one right now that will hopefully happen in May. But I don't know how that is right now, so I don't want to say much more about it. We also have campouts at Sabotage Garage, which is run by our friend Karen, and we just kind of get to hang out and see each other. And we were supposed to have one 2 weeks ago, and we had to cancel. And I know everyone is really missing each other right now. And then the only other event that I can think of off the top of my head is Buzzards Patch. It's up in Camptonville, which is... See, I was gonna be like, it's like 45 minutes from me, but no one knows where Grass Valley is either. So
that's run by the Trolling Buzzards, right?
Yes.
Trolling Buzzards are a great tribe.
Yes, they're amazing, and it's a wooded area, and they're allowing structures up there. And if you talk to Kip and Katie, you might be able to work something out. But we have a couple tribes up there that have they've made full-on structures and camps. Which I think is similar to Detonation, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. So they're building something up there, which is pretty cool, and it's nice to have a wooded area. They do shoots in the snow, so if you have a winter post-apoc kit, you can rock it there. So that's pretty fun. But of course, events are kind of touch and go right now. So there are some events planned for later this year. But if you join the NorCal Wastelanders Facebook page, we post everything there as well. But in terms of events I haven't been to that I want to go to, I would love to go to Detonation one year. Just I want to go out to Arizona and see it anyways and do a road trip after, which was supposed to be the plan for this year. But yeah, I'm hoping to do Detonation or Festival of Ash, and like Nucleanta would be really cool. As many events as I can get my little fingers on, but traveling and time off can be difficult. But I'll make it out there someday.
Yeah, keep that in mind too, you guys. If you're looking for local, unofficial, like Wastelander gatherings and stuff, I highly recommend going on Facebook and finding a Wasteland group near you. There's all these SoCal and NorCal and everywhere you can imagine unofficial meetups that happen, and kind of you might meet some people, and you might, if you haven't gone to a Wasteland event, sometimes it's a good introduction to the community.
Yeah, and people who have tuned into our previous interviews will know that I strongly recommend Detonation. It's a great time. Anybody who's thinking about going to it, very enjoyable. Fire a flamethrower. I like to compare it to the vacation city for Wasteland city dwellers.
That's a good way to put it, Fahrenheit.
That's nice. I like that.
It's very an accurate way. Yeah. Also, if Adam giggles and asks you to do something, or if you want to do something, just say yes. Don't question it. Yes, Adam, what are we doing? Let's go. Do not,
Just go, and fire will probably happen.
Just get into it.
Yeah, just say yes.
It seems very magical. I do want to go this year. I hope everything pans out as far as that. So Gemini, besides your own camp, what are your favorite tribes and camps at Wasteland?
Oh my God, so many. I mean, of course, Legio X, they're my babes. I love them so much, and they killed it with Fifi Fury, and yeah, she won like Vehicle of the Year, I think was 2017. I was on the victory lap ride. That was absolutely amazing. So they're still very near and dear to my heart. And then, of course, there's an offshoot, which is Grand Order of the Cloud. I don't know if I'd say we're a tribe. We're a group of dorks basically walking around. So I don't know if you've ever... Yeah, so we're Shriners. If you see a cloud of people singing happy birthday to random people things, we wear red dress jackets and fezzes, and it's a good time. So you can see us on Fridays. And of course, I love everybody from there. Our neighbors, Wasted Saints, they are amazing neighbors. We are so blessed to have them as our neighbors. And
good aesthetic neighbors too. I feel like your guys' aesthetics mesh really well together.
Yeah, both very spiritualistic, both very bought in.
Yeah, I've heard people refer to our block as the cult fuckers, and like we're here for it. But of course, we loved having the Restorationists because they also have a little bit of that flavor, and I loved having air raid sirens. You guys were amazing neighbors. But of course, we were like, where's the gong? Where's the ding?
Wait, we only make the noise with our mouth.
Wait,
we can only make a siren noise with our mouth because Adam gets mad.
Oh my God, that's so... Well, I mean,
if we have anything that creates... Yeah, if we have anything that creates really loud noise, I am never going to admit that. So anything you hear is just our mouths.
They meow, and it sounds like a siren.
That's just Amazon.
The tallest siren.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God, yeah, that was a glory to behold. Seriously. So yeah, we both enjoyed our neighbors for the last 2 years, and I love Hog Camp so much.
Yeah,
I seem to get into shenanigans every time I'm over there. And of course, the slag races are amazing, and they also have Malort, and we got into that the last couple years.
Hog Camp is an underrated camp as far as all the great camps situated in that area. They're pretty. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I think people don't know about, and they're very cool.
And they had the Year of the Pig celebration last year, and from what I got to see, it was absolutely amazing.
I wanted that beer koozie, damn it.
Oh god, it was so good. I know I didn't get anything. But
talk to Thorn. You never know, they might have spare.
Yeah, you never know.
They also do they have the hog piss, but they also do a happy hour or a cocktail hour that Housewife does, and she just takes hog piss and mixes it with all these different random things. And if you come in there, she'll explain it all to you, or at least she did for me. She just like walked me through it because I was like, I have never been inside this camp. I've only been on like the center of the den. Tell me what you guys are about. And they're super happy to be like, oh my gosh, yes, come on. So
so welcoming, so sweet. Yeah, I adore them. I've got 3 more. I mean, I love everybody, let's be honest, but Children of Asir, shout out, because they throw an amazing tea party, and we were invited because Simona, we've done tea the last couple years, and then we all were invited to this tea party, and just remember looking over and my tribe sister like, we can't compete with this tea party. It's so
oh
good.
Man,
not that there's competition, but yeah,
this past year's tea party got a little wild.
It was off the show.
A little mad, if you will.
I love their aesthetic, and of course 3-Day and Rad Max are 2 of my really good friends, and Rabid Radstag was absolutely amazing this year. I cannot wait to see what they do next year.
Amazing job, 3-Wheel.
Yeah, so good. And it's been really cool. We've been able to be a little bit a part of the saloon, to contribute a little bit. And my best friend did a piece that sits over the piano, and she painted it with mutated. Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's amazing. And then I had
Didn't she find it at a thrift store and then add the other head to the horse?
Yeah, and we'll go thrift store shopping looking for more paintings she can do.
Yeah, people wanted. That's even. I love it even more since. Sorry, I was like, I love it even more since she was like, "This is this piece. Let me adapt my abilities to match this piece and make it blend in perfectly."
And that's seamless. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
she is a fabulous artist.
People wanted to buy it at the saloon. People were making offers on it actively every time I went in there.
Yeah,
people want prints of it.
I would buy a print of it, 100%.
I'd buy a print of it. Yeah.
I wonder, if we could scan it and
just a high-res photo or something. That'd be really cool.
You could do that too. Yeah, I should.
That'd be a great way, by the way, 3-Wheel, or if she wants to, be a great wheel to make some. Great wheel. It'd be a great way to make some money for the saloon as well.
Yeah,
that's his next evolution.
Yeah, we were in light talks about doing a little postcard set, because I did my Wasteland postcards, the 4 I showed in the very beginning, and I wanted to do one for the saloon, and maybe I can convince her to. Maybe we can turn it into something that can be in the set, because I want to. Also, shout out, support them on Patreon, the saloon. Like it's a lot to run that, and if you can. Please.
It was all out of his pocket.
Yes, it was. And so
he sold his prized possession motorcycle to help fund. He put himself in debt for. I have gone to I helped with their build and everything, and I helped him on site. But when they went to Tim's house, I helped there too. But I'm learning about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, and anybody that says otherwise that he got outside funding,
no,
F you.
No,
stop spreading that rumor. Yeah, this is all 3-Wheel or Mike Kemling.
He worked his ass off to make that happen.
Yeah, his dream,
He's one of my favorite Wastelanders of all time, and he's a Pisces, and he fixes Xerox printers, and I think that is so charming, and I adore him so much. Anyway, so
great guy.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites, and then we're gonna do the Can girls. It's really sweet. I'm like, you know what? Truthfully, we just kind of want to dress up and stand around and maybe bark at people a little bit. Needle, Emissary, and I don't even remember, but we got rolling and somebody said can, and then it just exploded, and now there's going to be a whole army of us, I think. We'll see what happens.
Amazon, Amazon's doing it.
Yeah.
She's trying to convince me to do it. I'm still undecided on if I can make that costume or not. And then Snake Oil is doing it.
Yeah, her costume looks amazing. So
it's going to be so much can.
Oh, I cannot wait.
The can.
Yeah. So they're one of my other favorite tribes. And then I did get to go into Ghoul Crest this last year as I was a couple people's +1, which made me feel really, really special. And
Perfect.
That was amazing to finally see that. So, but honestly, I'm so impressed with what everybody brings every year. And there are still so many tribes I haven't been able to go in and see. And, it's like, you just got to walk up and be like, hey, what are you guys about? But I totally admit the first 2 years, like I was just too shy to like step up and say, but that's changed and it's still changing.
There's a lot of tribes.
I'm still too shy to enter certain camps.
There's a lot of tribes I've been into that just have random creations of yours, Gemini. I went into the temple. I think that's in like my last footage video because you created a shrine in there, right?
Yeah.
And then there was I was gonna say, and then Nutmeg as well. You created, I believe, right in the saloon. Did you create Nutmeg?
The great Enemeg.
Enemeg.
Gemini backwards, which is a shout
Oh my gosh.
backwards. Yeah, Mike owns. I gifted him the fortune telling machine. I'm like, I know it's small, but like, if you need more pieces, and he gladly took it. But I'm laughing about the shrine because Temple of the Waste, they're so amazing, and I did a shrine last year for them, and it was supposed to be to the spirit of wind. And I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if the spirit was like so excited because there were so many donations in the little tip jar. I don't know if she was like too excited or if she was angry because the wind was absolutely insane last year. And so no one's blamed my shrine for it.
Well, now they will.
Now they might, but I have to admit it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she was just like really excited by all the people that visited her shrine, and
yeah, I gave her a donation in the video,
and I super appreciate that. That was really sweet. I don't know if the shrine is going to come back next year, or if it's
she
going
must.
to change.
Let's just hold off and see how.
I know, right? I know, right? I'm like, she's sitting in my living room, watching over us.
Yeah, let's just hold off this year.
Leave her there. I know the wind was so brutal, and I just kept thinking. And of course, at one point,
how do I make like the perfect temperature shrine? God.
Okay, but maybe I'm not the person to ask because I did one for wind because that's my sign, and it ended up being crazy. So if I do a temperature shrine, it's gonna either snow or like a volcano is gonna erupt somewhere behind.
Oh, the great god Thermos.
Yeah, it was funny. But so we'll see if the shrine comes back this year or not. But I like having things all around or sharing. But the bounty I did a most wanted bounty last year, and I'm giving all the pieces away to the tribes that participated. So that's cool. So it'll be Rabid Radstag or hello. Yeah, and like Outpost 364 was involved, so they'll get their piece, and so it makes me happy that people have some of my work around the wasteland.
So, do you have any besides the Can Girls, the Rabbit Radstag? Do you have any other big plans for the 2020 event?
I guess like being able to read with my own Oracle deck I'm really excited about, but I'm trying to keep it pretty light. We have the Can Girls, Can Cutie, excuse me, but it's really like come and do whatever you want to do. We are going to have a tribe alliance this year, and hopefully we'll be having an initiation this year, so I think I'll be probably more tribe focused. I'll still do Grand Order of the Cloud, which will be really fun. But honestly, my biggest thing is I got to take it easy this year because last year I faced a little bit of burnout, and I really don't want to go through that again. And
didn't you hit your head last year? Was that you who hit your head during setup?
I had a pole hit me in the face while we were tearing down. Yeah,
I was like, I remember one of you guys got hit in the head and was like kind of out for a little bit during is either setup or tear down, but yeah. I did really appreciate how all of your tribe members, whoever it was, I don't remember who it was, but all of the tribe members instantly were like stopped what they were doing and like started paying attention to the person and was like, okay, are you okay? Sit down. Here you go. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is so sweet.
They're really good. And like when we're setting up, we do water checks. And we really try and look after each other. No, it was my own stupidity. I was like ready to get the hell out of there. And it'll hit a point. Yeah, I'm just like, all I want to do right now is like hit that McDonald's and like really wash my hands and be on my merry way, my 7-hour drive home. But yeah, I unscrewed something when I wasn't supposed to, and it came flying down. It hit me in the face. And then Echo, my tribe sister, was like, she turned to me and she said, "I'm so sorry about your face," but she said it really sincerely. And then we realized what she said. So now she uses it all the time. So we were getting ready for Nukule, and I turn around and I have my full face of makeup on. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your face." So it's become something really good. But yeah, I'm trying to take it easy and not commit to so many things. I just want to experience the event from moment to moment. I was one of the volunteers last year, which was super fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it again this year, but I'm getting married 3 weeks after I get back from Wasteland. So I gotta take it easy before and after.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I'm excited for what is on the docket, but I think I just want to keep it a little bit more loose, or as loose as I can keep it.
That is an important thing to keep in mind, you guys. Don't overextend yourself with these events. There's a lot to do. There's a lot you're going to want to do. Make sure to give yourself some time to wander and just enjoy the event. As an attendee, and yeah, it is after a week of camping there, by the end, as magical it is, most of us are ready to head home, and you do have to be careful with tear down. I think a lot of people tear down in a haste, and stuff like that happens all the time. At least our camp does.
You just you got to slow down. You still have to drink water. You still need to put on sunscreen. Like I forget this every year, and then I'm kind of fine. And then as I look in the mirror, so I'm leaving, and I'm like bright red, and I'm super dehydrated. And then your drive home is worse. Like you'll get home when you get home. You know, be careful. Don't be hasty. Yeah, that was I think I've learned it well enough this year, having a pole smash into my face and like missed my eye by like 2 inches. Ooh. So yeah, I'm gonna slow it down next year. I'll get home when I get home, and when I drive home, I do because it's just me in the car, and I'll bring up like my voice recorder on my phone, and I'll go through day by day, and that's how I get myself home, because I'm still living in it, but I'm enjoying it from my AC in my car, you know, and then it helps you remember. But like you'll get home when you get home. Slow it down.
I was gonna say, there is a Wastelander named Nutmeg out there, and I do. The reason I called your creation Nutmeg is I remember being in the saloon on, I want to say Saturday, but it might have been Friday. All the days blur together. But I remember that while she and I were conversing, and she was quite intoxicated, she was like, "No, I'm Nutmeg." She was like looking at it. She was very competitive, that little creature.
Yeah. I mean, you've almost got all the letters. So
I think it's in the part 4 video, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, I want to see them battle it out in the Thunderdome now. Who will be Nutmeg?
Oh man, the ultimate Nutmeg.
The battle of the Megs.
Ultimate Nutmeg.
Oh, I love Nutmeg though. It's a great spice.
So, 2 golden questions, but the first one is, how would you describe, or how do you describe this event to outsiders when you go to this every year?
Oh my god, other than like the basic, it's like Burning Man, but it's not. It's Mad Max, but I'm still not describing it properly whatsoever. Basically, I just say it's an experience that will most likely change your life, and probably for the better. I've met the most incredible people out there. I've made the most incredible community and connected. And it's a fully immersive space for you to just lose yourself in and have fun and express yourself in whatever way you'd like. And I think everyone should experience it if they can. Like, low-key, I think my dad would honestly really enjoy it. Even though he's not. Yeah, I had to really work with my folks in the beginning because they didn't quite get it. But I think there's honestly something for everybody. And that's why I love it. And if you're not sure about certain aspects, like still go, because even if you're not a drinker, there's a space for you. If you're an artist, there's a space for you. If you're into sports, or bashing into each other in a dome or in a cage, there's something there for you. If you're into cars, or stories, there's something there for you.
Yeah, Wasteland is not for just one type of person.
No, not at all.
So do you have any advice for first timers, if you had one piece of advice to give?
Let yourself get swept up in the moment. You can go in with a plan. Two big things about me: I ask a lot of questions, and I really like to plan things out. And I was like digging through. I went back to the forums when they're like the Wasteland forums, trying to find info. And digging through Central. I still have spreadsheets for every year, but I had a spreadsheet for like all the things I wanted to do every day, and I lined it up like a schedule, thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow this. And then as soon as I got there, it just went out the window. And there was a part of me that had to like let that go. Like, no, you can have all of these plans, but they probably won't go according to plan.
Don't be super committed to them.
Exactly. But if you just let yourself get wrapped up in the moment, like last year, it was amazing. It was like 2 a.m. and I'm standing outside the hovel talking to Dodger, and all of a sudden these people are running by with the cow, which I had never seen before until that moment. Queen Labifa. And they're running, and they're exhausted, and they stop in front of us. They're all panting, and I didn't recognize anybody. And I was like, hey, do you guys need help? Sorry, Dodger. And we were going to go running off together. And it's like, if there's something that takes you, go for it. I'm like, help me, help them steal this cow. And then of course security came running, and they're like, you bring that back right now. And I was like, I don't know these people. But just
this is Burning Man, right? Why are you yelling at me?
Right? Just let yourself get wrapped up in it, and don't be afraid of where it takes you. I guess I would say that's my biggest advice.
Good advice. Do you guys have any questions for Gemini before we bring this to a close?
So I just want to talk about my first real interaction with you. I'd seen you on like Facebook and stuff like that, and I was super intrigued, but I didn't really know you. And everybody online is super intimidating to me, and so I'm always like, I don't know, I'm just this little redhead that yells a lot, and people think I'm funny or not. I don't know. My mom does. But so I remember I had like sent you a friend request, and then I saw you at Ground Zero, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna talk to this girl. She looks very entertaining. And so you had just gone to the Portos, and you're on your way back, and you're with I'm assuming one of your tribe mates, and you guys both had like this look on your face of like kind of panic, and you're like, oh, if you're going, we saw a snake. And I was like, what? I was not sober at this time, and so I was like,
none of us were.
Yeah, and I had never seen a snake on the property, which I know that they're out there, but I was like, okay. And you guys were like, just be careful, like, okay, da 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 da. And I think you told me to let you know when I made it back. Like, you wanted me to check in.
I am a mom at heart, honestly. I'm like,
oh, yeah,
let me know when you get home. Check in with me. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I think I'm pretty sure you wanted me to let you know that I did not get attacked by the snake, or it didn't eat me. And so I was walking to the Portos, and I go and I look, and there was a stick.
It was a stick, right?
It was a stick.
Yeah, it was a stick. It was for sure a stick.
It was a bigger stick.
I remember you told me the story as it was happening.
Yeah, but there was like stripes on it, and I was like I don't know how it was, but like the stick had like, it looked like it was like stripes, but I was like, oh my gosh. And if I would have had my phone on me, I would have taken a photo. But I just want to let you know that I laughed so hard that I almost peed my pants before, like right beside. I almost peed my pants by the Portos, and there was nobody in the Portos.
That was a moment.
But I remember I remember coming back and telling you, and you were like, both of you guys were like, okay, like embarrassed, but also like, we're so grateful, but also like embarrassed. And yeah, and then we sat and talked, or we didn't sit, but we talked for a little bit, and it was like, oh yeah, you're red, cool, I know who you are, we're friends now.
Because, oh my god, when you sent me the friend request, I'm like, oh my god, it's her. Oh my god, I had friends. I was so excited. And then I ran into you at the Porto of all places. I'm like, this is glamorous, and I was like, I have to protect her from the snake, but I'm not going to get near the snake.
You saved my life.
Thank you. I'm so glad. But there was a solid couple minutes where Yaga and I were standing there, just like squatting, kind of looking in this really stupid position, like squinting, trying to see this. I'm like,
from a safe distance.
I'm like, yeah, from a safe distance. I was like, is that what I think it is? And we're both squinting in the night, in the dark of the night, and it's not helpful whatsoever. And
I think I stepped on it.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't completely sober either, but I'm glad we were all safe. It was a very convincing stick.
Oh man, yeah. I blame Jared and Baron Light from the Wasted Saints, because he was making all those cocktails, and Jared made cocktails, and everybody drank those cocktails, and then that was that.
They were so good.
Oh yeah, I'm crying.
May I just say, it's very sweet though that even in like an intoxicated state, your first place is to go with like concern of warning somebody.
Oh, that's just what I like to do. I just want everyone to be safe and happy and not being attacked by snakes.
Not being attacked by snakes.
As far as like
snakes are dangerous.
As far as a drunken story, like that's a pretty sweet one, actually.
Yeah, that's overall pretty wholesome.
It could have gone way worse, yeah.
I was grateful that you warned me that there were snakes out there.
Well, come to find out, there were snakes the next year. They were behind our camps.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that live. I forgot we were talking before you guys arrived. That's pretty scary, actually.
So it was one night. I realized, I think every time I keep saying it's 2 a.m. Apparently everything happens at 2 a.m. But whatever. I didn't have a watch on me. Who knows? But I was in the hovel alone, just hanging out, and I see this big burly dude walk behind our camp. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, get up, and I got my arms on my hips. I'm like, I'm going to walk back there and figure out what's going on. And I was like, I'm going to protect my sisters if it comes down to it. And like, I got this. So I walk back there, and it's security. He's waking everybody up. And he's like, yeah, you guys have oodles of snakes nesting right behind your camp. And my tent zipper had broken that day. And so I just clipped the bottom of it and prayed to get through the night. And but little did we know, like earlier that week, a snake went right by our foot. And we're like, oh, what a cute little snake. Like a bunch of idiots. Like, I didn't learn my lesson at ground zero about snakes. I should have already known. But
because I warned you that it was a stick.
I know. So maybe I was like, no, it's just a stick moving in the wind.
The interpreter's got my back. She'll let me know if it's a stick.
Yeah, watch out for those critters out there.
Oh, man. I'm crying.
Oh my gosh. These and many more things to look forward to at Wasteland Weekend.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I was telling the story earlier that there seems to be the old location had a lot more foxes, and there's ants. Scorpions, and I think there's still quite a bit of ants at the new place.
Lots of ants, yeah.
Sometimes you'll see a tarantula if you're lucky. Safely remove them from your camp. There's no need to harm them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, snakes weren't really. I never encountered anything like that at the last location.
We found a dog one year.
That's true.
What, really?
It was blind and deaf. It was a little tiny dog.
Oh my God.
It came to our camp, and I was like, and it was early access. And I was like, my first response was, oh my gosh, somebody brought their freaking dog and they let it off leash already. Like, you guys, what are you doing? And then we took it to we took it to, I think, command center or whatever, but it was a local's dog that had ran away.
Oh, so he didn't belong to anybody at the event. He was just there.
No, out there.
Yeah. Either it ran away or somebody took it to a farm.
Yeah.
So we're hoping it was lost, but yeah. Last we heard, I believe they found its owners. I was like, and then it's like I know that the cult of cat meat. They actually, I believe that cat was found at the new property.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
it was. I think it was by the. Yeah, I remember when they were originally posting about that. Don't bring your animals to Wasteland, you guys. Unless you have like a service dog or something. They are.
But
not
even
allowed.
then, I don't think you're really allowed. Yeah, or you can't law-wise.
I think
but
yeah. Don't bring your animal. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just bring wasted stuffed animals.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I've got a wasted cat that looks like Ginkgo.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Ginkgo is my cat, by the way. Hello, everybody.
Ginkgo's like an internet celebrity.
I
Ginkgo is
have
very
to
cute.
agree.
She is very cute.
She's blown up. We have surgery in the morning, and so we had to take her something or give her something to like basically have her just sleep, until, because she is a wiggly worm and they can't, do any work. So they needed us to test it out, and she's been such an angel sleeping next to me, just listening to me do this little interview. But she's not moving, but I'm sure she says hey. Well, she's moving. Hello, she's breathing. But I mean, she's. Oh,
God.
I have follow-up questions, but you answered them. Thank you.
She just kind of nodded.
She's
so out of it.
We need to have like an all cat. We need to have an all cat version of the live stream for April Fools or something.
Miss, do you have a cat?
My grandparents have a cat that lives here.
Okay, all right. There you go.
A black cat creatively named Blackie.
Oh.
Creative.
Yeah, so she's around.
Black cats don't get enough love, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Black cats are best cats.
They're good cats.
Okay.
Every cat's a good cat. So does anybody have any?
Every cat's a good cat.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any final questions? I was just gonna say, Gemini, I'm getting messages on Facebook for more people who want to pre-order your stuff. So you might want to consider opening the pre-order for that Oracle deck.
Okay, I will figure out how to do that tonight. If it's cool with you, once I figure it out, maybe I can leave it in the comments of this video.
Absolutely.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
I will pin that comment or put it in the description.
It's only a 5% fee.
Okay, and your soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will pin
Deal. That. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right. So I think that concludes our interview. Everyone, thank you for joining us, Gemini.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun hanging out.
Were there any other questions in the chat?
Let's see. All we have is G&V saying, I'd tune in for cat chat.
Oh, I would too.
That'd be pretty good.
If we ever get the cult of cat meat on here, we'll have just cats on the camera.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
It's just us just like dropping things the whole time.
Use your avatar, the image of your cat.
That would be great. We should make that happen. But yeah, thanks, Interpreter. Thanks, Mr. Fahrenheit. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Be safe. Treat each other well. Stay safe out there. Stay home. In there.
Yes. Stay home.
Maintain a healthy quarantine. Maintain a healthy quarantine. If even build days can cancel, you too can stay in your vault.
Exactly.
Make some art. Dream of Wasteland.
Yes. Make some art. Work on your costume. Get inspired.
Figure out what vault you're currently inhabiting.
Ooh, watch the 3-hour video from Apocalypse Post of just the main streets. That'll take you right back.
It'll immerse you and make some stuff. You can always join us. Apocalypse Post is a great channel, by the way. I think I've plugged it.
Absolutely.
Check that out if you haven't and you want to see some very cool stuff. If you're on Facebook, maybe you can tune in to Chatter. Oh my gosh, to Hatter.
Hatter the Chatter.
And check out. He should call it Hatter Chatter. Oh god.
Oh, that's good.
We're going on too long now. I'm getting loopy. And then always check out DJ Joe Virus and join us next time. We'll have the next Wastelander of the month. Bye, you guys.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.